Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me as we talk some movie news. So in this episode of Review Flicks, we're going to be diving into Brandon Routh as Superman, potentially coming back for his own standalone series. There's rumblings going on online and it could potentially happen. Super exciting news. But guys, if you are new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the movie and streaming news we have going on this channel. And with that down, we're going to be jumping into this article here from comicflicknews.com. So, former Arrowverse executive hints at Brandon Routh's Superman series. So, Brandon Routh, famed for his role in Superman Returns, could be donning the iconic Man of Steel suit once again for an upcoming television series. So yeah guys, when I first saw this news pop up on my Twitter feed this morning, I was absolutely over the moon, the fact that this might be happening. Brandon Routh, he's such a likable, charming guy, and he really did embody Superman in that Superman Returns movie. I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was great. And I really love that he nailed the Clark Kent side of the character. He's got that kind of bumbling, kind of nerdy side to him. And the physicality of the guy as well, he just looks like Superman. He looks great in the role, and I think he did a great job, and a lot of people would be very, very happy to see him come back. But let's keep reading and see what we can learn about this potential Superman series starring Brandon Routh. So, back in 2006, Brandon Routh swooped onto screens as the Caped Crusader in Superman Returns, a role that seemed as fleeting as a speeding bullet. But fear not, fellow citizens of Metropolis, for Routh's rendition of Superman soared back into action during the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. Yeah, people who followed the Arrowverse, they were so ecstatic and happy the fact that Brandon Routh and Superman appeared in the Arrowverse. It was amazing to see him there. It was really, really cool. Again, the guy is so damn charming. I think a lot of people loved seeing him pop up in the Arrowverse, and it was great that people are still acknowledging him, and there's still a huge fan base out there for Brandon Routh, and I think they should absolutely make a series, like an Elseworld series. You can have the David Corenswet Superman on the big screen inside the DCU canon, but then at the same time, you can have an Elseworld standalone series with Brandon Routh as Superman. James Gunn has already talked about Elseworld stories are going to continue alongside the main continuity of the DCU. So, fingers crossed this does happen, because I would really, really look forward to Brandon Routh coming back. And now hold on to your capes, because the man who made us believe that men could fly might just be gearing up for another round. That's right, former Arrowverse executive producer Mark Guggenheim is dropping hints faster than a speeding locomotive about a potential series to Superman Returns. So if it's a potential sequel series, that means it's going to directly follow the events of Superman Returns, or potentially there's going to be a gap between Superman Returns and the follow-up series, but it is going to be in the same continuity. It's going to be the same Superman. The series of events that took place in Superman Returns, I'm assuming is going to be canon to the series, because it's going to be a sequel series, which is kind of cool. And we'll have to see how it goes. Are they going to use the same suit? Are they going to redesign the suit? You know, how is it going to work? Are they going to bring back the Lois Lane actress from the movie, or are they going to recast it? That'd be interesting to see as well. So, in a social media post on X, Guggenheim spilled the Kryptonian beans. Kryptonian beans. Teasing Brandon Routh or Ruth. Guys, I'm not sure how you say it. I say Brandon Routh. I know some people say Brandon Routh, but I'm going to call it Routh. And I have been chatting about a sequel series. We've got some super exciting ideas up our sleeves. So yeah, Guggenheim basically said we've got some super exciting ideas up our sleeves. So they've obviously been in conversations, you know, they've had talks about it, but there's a long way between, you know, having conversations, having ideas and potential series to actually having it greenlit and then having it financed and, you know, having it come to our screens. There's a long way between those two things happening. So even if it does get greenlit and it does start to happen, you know, it's going to be at least a few years before the show is up and running, I would assume at this point. But still, I'm prepared to wait as long as it takes to see Brandon Routh back as Superman. So, could this be a triumphant return we've been waiting for? Stay tuned, citizens, as we brace ourselves for the epic saga of Superman's resurgence. So, from Mark Guggenheim here, this is his official Twitter post here. So, Brandon and I have talked about a sequel series. We have some really exciting ideas. So, you know, it looks like Brandon Routh is absolutely up for continuing to play the role of Superman, which is great to hear. And it looks like Guggenheim has met with him and they've been discussing ideas, which is great. And whether the studio has, you know, whatever studio is going to be taking this on, is it going to appear on the CW as well, or is it going to be on a streaming service? It would be hard to tell at this point. It's probably too early in the conversation to start talking about that. But is it just an idea, or is it something that actually has, kind of merit that might actually happen? So, from Ivan B. Parker, I 100% agree. He embodies the role with charm and confidence. The "you're safe now, I'll handle that" aura he irradiates is perfect. Yeah, he embodies this role with charm and confidence. Absolutely. I love the fact that when he plays Clark Kent, he just absolutely nails that side of Superman. I really love it. He just reminds me of Christopher Reeve playing Clark Kent like so much. You guys might not get the same feel for him, in that capacity that I do, but he absolutely reminds me of Christopher Reeve's take on Superman. And I'm right there with you. My dream for him would be to have a 12-episode adaptation of All-Star, but I'm forever grateful for his comeback. Yeah, same. Like, I loved seeing him in Arrowverse. I did admit I fell off the Arrowverse, after Arrow and Flash and stuff. There were so many episodes of different shows coming out. I got sort of lost in the kind of episodic count, if you like. But when he popped up, I went onto YouTube and I watched all the footage I could find with Brandon Routh in it. And just absolutely charming. Just love the guy. Love the guy. So, from Mark Guggenheim as well, coolest thing we ever did. And then we have this small clip of Superman here flying in outer space, which is really, really cool. Looks great. So, again, from Mark Guggenheim, the executive at the Arrowverse, I was very privileged to work with some very wonderful and very talented, very clever people. Depressed Snake, I'm just now realizing the texture is a bunch of small S's. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I love that kind of detail. The people who work on, the costume design don't get enough credit for these kind of movies. The work they put into these costumes is absolutely incredible. Some of the stuff they do is just absolutely amazing. Working out, the textures, the details, and, how the colors are going to work on screen and all that. There's a lot of like science and kind of like technology and stuff that goes into these costumes. And, when you see them up close like this, it really kind of puts into perspective the hard work that gets poured into these kind of costumes. And Brandon Routh here in this, I think it's the Kingdom Come Superman suit. He looks incredible, man. He looks buff as hell. Obviously, there's a bit of padding in this suit, I would assume. But the guy, he looks great. He pulls off the physicality, and he just looks like Superman. He looks exactly what like you expect Superman to look like. So, will Brandon Routh be back as Superman? I love this little gif here, man. Just look at this guy. He looks so good. The guy's image is just absolutely just incredible when it comes to Superman. He's got the physicality, he's got the look, he's got the charm, he's got the charisma. And the guy's just great, and he really does deserve a follow-up series. So picture this, Superman Returns, the epic legacy sequel that dared to take the baton from the legendary Christopher Reeve and pass it to none other than Brandon Routh. With Routh at the helm, we witnessed a Man of Steel's grand comeback after a 5-year hiatus, all while dodging the nefarious schemes of Lex Luthor, played by Kevin Spacey. Talk about a supersized showdown. So now cue the drum roll. Superman Returns raked in over $391 million worldwide. But hold on to your capes, folks, because Warner Brothers was left scratching their heads faster than a speeding bullet. Despite the global box office success, the studio was left feeling like they'd been hit with a kryptonite punch, considering the hefty budget and sky-high expectations. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? It made $391 million worldwide. That isn't probably what DC were expecting. They were hoping it to make more money than that. But as I say, I think that in the Superman movie, Superman Returns, if I'm not incorrect about this, he didn't actually fight anybody in that movie. I don't think there was any fight scenes. Obviously, there's that scene where there's those thugs on the rooftop with a machine gun, and they're firing the machine gun at him, and the bullet bounces off his eye. But that's not really a fight scene. But I don't believe there's actually one single fight scene in the movie. Obviously, he rescues the plane, and then at the end of the movie, there's that big island that Lex Luthor's made out of kryptonite that he sort of picks up and throws into space. But I don't think he actually fights anybody in the movie. And maybe that's why some people came away a bit disappointed, not seeing him actually fight anybody, maybe not seeing any other DC, villains or characters popping up. Maybe that was part of the reason why it didn't perform as well. I'm just putting it out there. That may not be the reason, but I can speculate. So, but fear not, citizens of Metropolis, plans to continue Ralph's reign as Superman, Ralph, however you say it. Ruth's reign as Superman was scrapped faster than you can say up, and away, paving the way for Henry Cavill's takeover in the action-packed Man of Steel in 2013, the greatest Superman who ever jumped onto a screen, Henry Cavill. Cavill soared through the skies as Superman, even making a final cameo in Black Adam before passing the torch to the next hero, which is obviously David Corenswet, which is going to pop up in Superman Legacy 2025, and he looks exactly like Henry Cavill. It's quite scary how much David Corenswet looks like Henry Cavill. It looks like Hollywood have cloned him and then just made him like 5 years younger. But yeah, it's pretty scary. But yeah, so Brandon Routh obviously came out, made a movie. It made less than 400 million. DC expected it to make more, so they passed on to a new actor, which was a shame because Brandon Routh, his Superman was absolutely delightful. And who might that be, you ask? None other than David Corenswet, which we already know. Set to grace the silver screen as the next live-action Clark Kent in Superman Legacy, coming to theaters in 2025. But wait, there's more. Brace yourself for another cinematic adventure because James Gunn has teased the unconnected Superman flick from J.J. Abrams, promising a DC Elseworlds extravaganza. Yeah, so there's also supposed to be another Superman movie, I believe, like a Black Superman, an Elseworlds movie featuring a Black Superman. I don't know if that's still happening or not. I hope it is, because I think that'd be an interesting take on the Superman. Give me as much Superman and Batman as possible. I don't care. I want to see all of it. But yeah, this is something that, would be on my bucket list. I would love to absolutely see this. If I could choose like 2 or 3 projects, my dream projects, one of them would definitely be a follow-up movie or a follow-up series with Brandon Routh, because I think the guy's delightful and he embodies Superman really, really well. And I think a lot of people would flock to this as a TV show. It would bring in a lot of subscribers to any streaming show who would want to watch this. I believe it would. So grab your popcorn and prepare for a super-powered binge session, because Superman Returns is now streaming on Prime Video and Max, ready to whisk you away on the flight of superhero nostalgia. I might actually have to watch this movie later now that I'm talking about it, because it's really fun. It's a really fun movie. But just the fact that he doesn't fight anybody is kind of the only thing that lets it down, in my opinion. Other than that, I think it's a pretty great movie. But yeah, guys, so there we are. It's potential that Brandon Routh may get his own TV show as Superman, which is really, really exciting. Mark Guggenheim here saying that he's talked about a sequel series and they have really exciting ideas. But like I already said, there's a long way between having ideas and talking about it to having it greenlit and financed. Those are two vastly different things. So if we get any more news regarding this Brandon Routh Superman series, I'll be the first to update on the channel for all you guys, because a lot of us are going to want to know how this turns out and if it does actually get greenlit, because the guy is amazing. But guys, jump into the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. Would you be interested in a Brandon Routh Superman standalone series? Or do you think, the guy had his time to shine, it's over and done with, and you'd rather move on to, David Corenswet Superman and Superman Legacy? Let me know what you think. Can't wait to hear what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.